Do you ever had a toy for which you dreamed for a long time, but when you finally got it, you just open the case, play for a while, put it away, and never touch it again? Well, that is not the case between me and this steering wheel. I wanted this model for so long time, and when I finally had it in my hands, I spent over an hour just staring at it and try to appreciate the moment. I know some of you are thinking right now, what the hell is wrong with this guy? This thing is so ugly. And subjectively speaking, from your point of view, you are 100% right. But that won't change the fact I am in love with this model, and so are many other. That's the beauty of our species. We are so different, and that's exactly what makes our world so colorful.
Still there, right side's clear.
I don't think I have to mention from where the V-PGT is inspired, and I have to admit, it is crafted to the last detail. The first thing that struck me right away was the perfect carbon work in both samples of the standard and the forged carbon. Because this is such a complex shape, from round parts of the grip supports to the curved places for the aluminum buttons shield, rotary encoders and the badge, and the same is on the back. This 6mm thick full carbon body is definitely the best carbon work I ever had in my hands. The first thing I did was to stretch and push the handles as hard as I can to check if there is some squishy noise between the two body parts, as carbon have that tendency of creating very unpleasant sound in friction. Once I found it's totally silent with absolutely zero flex, as I've said, I spent like more than an hour just staring at it. Feature-wise, this thing is loaded with way more we will ever need, except the 12 buttons on the front and the two Auto P9 on the back, which have the best clicking feel in the world but rarely used in sim racing wheels those days. We have also 5 Elma rotaries, 2 for the thumbs with protective cap and 4 on the face, but the one on the bottom left is a bit special. Now, if we count just those, that makes 26 inputs in total, which is enough for me, but we have hidden feature. The bottom left knob is rotary switch with 12 individual positions, and each position gives different assignment on the left thumb encoder. How we can use that is limited only by our imagination. And of course, all knobs are aluminum in the same shape of the original one, and so is the shroud of the buttons. Next crazy part is the 96 LEDs, which can be individually controlled in SimHub. There are 4 for each button and 12 for every rotary encoder on each position. I can't even begin to imagine what crazy profiles can be created on SimHub. For the front buttons, there are a set of polycarbonate grip stickers and set of silicone ones, which bring it more close to the real one. I'm personally a huge fan of the silicone ones, which gives totally different feel in touch and operation and gives different shape of the buttons as well. Of course, those are painted and mapped as the original ones and looks good with white backlight. That being said, if you want to choose different colors, the polycarbonate will look much better. In terms of feeling, the front buttons feels good and in my opinion better with the silicone stickers, and the Auto P9 feels just amazing on the back. The 5 rotaries feels good as well, and the switch is just brutal. It looks like electronic-wise are used top-quality components with some crazy life cycles guaranteed from Elma Electronics to last forever. On the back, 4 aluminum magnetic shifters with 5mm carbon plates, which have medium short throw, and in terms of feeling and distance they are okay for me personally, but totally fixed in that position with no any adjustments. And the carbon work on the back almost as complex as the front one, with some shape for the two buttons and the aluminum extension. Grips are in 300mm, which are a bit soft and don't collect dead skin and dust, which makes them not that grippy without gloves, but with gloves are perfectly fine. So, objectively speaking, the quality of this wheel is absolute and definitely the best carbon work in the both samples I have here and the one I saw on the expo, which means is the standards for this model. And on the question I asked how you achieved that, he said he scrapped many and keeps only the perfect ones. Subjectively speaking, I can hear myself how biased I am just talking about it. It is a model I am personally in love, and that's the reason I am so enthusiastic in this video. However, more than 50k people have found a reason to subscribe to this channel, and I believe one of those reasons is because, I can make the difference between objective and subjective statements. So, the steering wheel cost 1.5k UK pounds for the standard carbon and 1.6 for the forge before VAT. It is top quality, but lots of money for many of us. If I disconnect myself emotionally, which is my strength, and see things like third person without involving my biased view towards this specific model, I can easily see that this is not the most feature-loaded wheel on the market for that money, neither the most comfortable in the world, but of course I can't blame V-PGT for that, as that is the design of this specific steering wheel and they try to keep it as authentic as possible to the last detail. I personally can't suggest this as value for money, coldly speaking, but I also understand that this build never intended to be. The real value of this steering wheel is for those hardcore fans of the model like me. Just remember, we don't invest in sim gear, we invest in our happiness with this hobby. If you are a fan of this specific model and can afford it, I am sure you will get the value the moment you open the case. It is really piece of art. If you ask me if there is something I will change about it, I can clearly say absolutely no. This is as authentic as it can get. The V-PGT quality is already well known and the service is almost on personal level. I have met the guys in person and felt the passion. I can easily feel when it's just about business and when it's love for the work, and those two are on the art side. We really need guys like those to make our hobby even more beautiful place. So, final objective conclusion. If you are out for high quality steering wheel, this is definitely an option you can consider. Ergonomic is very well designed, tons of inputs, and with all those 96 individual RGB LEDs and the sim hub compatibility, you can set all the spotter warnings, flags, animations, and anything you wish. Of course, in that price range, there are many other options out. Make your research well before you take your decision. If you are a Porsche fan and you can afford this, I can promise you, it will make you fucking happy. It really is piece of art, and from authenticity, I don't think can get any closer.